All right, who would like to go here?
Eric, obviously a tough week in LA. You guys were on the road for that whole time. I know some of your assistants and staff had people here being evacuated. Just what was that whole situation like being away during that time?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, things are way bigger than basketball. And we talked about it while we were on the road. Obviously, Coach Conroy, Coach Quincy, Caleb Klein, their loved ones were, evacuated. And it's tough. Clark was worried about his family. And, all you can do as a group and as a unit and a program and organization, whatever, is, talk about it. And, we were super anxious to get back home. We want to do anything that we can. I know Coach Conroy and I have been talking about some things of, that we can possibly do this week. So it's just, for us, it's, hopefully we're like a little bit of an avenue for people to get away from it tonight and enjoy 2 hours of basketball. I think our guys have handled it really well because they have talked about it. Will was keeping us updated. He had, local news stations downloaded on his phone and was giving us daily, minute, hourly updates. Our, thoughts when we were away were with everybody back here. And then I thought when we had our preparation time, our guys did a really good job of focusing on that as well.
Coach, congratulations. Which was the bigger impact on the game, the great shooting or the huge rebound margin?
That's a great question. I don't really know, Rich. I think both. We knew that, if the rebounding battle tonight was close, that, that was not going to play into our hands. I think you have a decision when you play at Illinois. You have a decision when you play Iowa. Are you going to run with them or are you going to, slow the game down? Our personality by nature as a group and a team is to attack. We didn't want to get in a skills competition with them. We didn't want to get in a three-point competition with them, but we did feel like we would get open threes with our feet set, which we did. Getting back half of our misses was really important just based on statistics. Iowa has given up some offensive rebounds, and so that was important for us. But I think the biggest stat was the 27 assists and sharing the basketball. And when you share it like that, you're passing up good shots for great shots. And I thought our shot selection tonight was absolutely phenomenal. During the course of the game, I only really remember one shot that was not a good shot. To play Big Ten games and lead for 39 minutes and 40 seconds and go on the road and lead for the entirety of the it's hard to do. And we've gotten off to really good starts so far other than the Michigan game. So the starters have done a really good job the first 4 minutes of the game as well.
Before that Washington game, when Terrence gets hurt, you put Wesley into the starting lineup, and you've said multiple times just how his quickness, ball handling kind of changed things offensively. But you look at tonight, you look at the past couple of games, how is just him playing and developing the way that he has just changed you guys as a program offensively?
Yeah, I think, I think that Wes's minutes and evolution have changed our season, to be honest with you. We don't know where it goes from here. But right now, look, he's changed things because he can make threes. He stretches the floor for us. He gives us another ball handler. He's super strong. He's really aggressive. And so his mentality, his toughness, his physicality, and then I think as obviously year one in our program, it's really important that a young player kind of emerges. And he's really good right now, and you can only imagine what he can do next year after he gets a full year and all this playing experience. He's going to be he already is a really good player, but his confidence, you can kind of see it growing too by the game.
Coach, I saw that video that USC basketball Twitter put out before the game, and you nailed your three keys. You shot better than them from three, slowed them down on the fast break points, and grabbed more offensive rebounds. With those three keys in mind, how nice was it to do so well in those three areas?
Yeah, Connor, I think is the one thing with this team, even the games we've lost, You know, when we've come up with themes, and we've come up with like keys, even when we lose, they come pretty close. We didn't, you know, I would say the one execution that we haven't, you know, we didn't do a very good job on Danny Wolf. As I look back, and that's one guy in a game, and we didn't, you know, we got a little bit off script. But for the most part, I mean, this team practices so hard. They follow the game plan. The huddles are, like, our huddles are so good, even when we're not playing well. Like, they listen, they talk to each other, they communicate. Again, you know, I mean, we're happy we won 2 games in a row. This league is so hard. Every game's hard. But we're back to 500 in league. And I think the overall character of the locker room is, I don't know if you could have better chemistry internally.
Hi, Coach. One of those keys, eliminating their 3, they only made 4 in the first half. What from the first half of your guys would you like to implement continuing in the season?
Yeah, I think like the second half, I think maybe we started switching a lot more. The defense was away from us. The first half, when the defense is in front of us, I think we can communicate with them. Maybe fatigue in that second half. You know, we gave up some threes probably. A couple guys might have been exhausted when they're playing 40 minutes. But the key to the game, especially early in the game, we just talked about, hey, we cannot let them get hot the first 20 minutes of the game, or it's going to be a long night. And we knew they had a run in them. I mean, they made they were down big against Nebraska, and they came back, and they made their run, and then we were able to counter it. But certainly taking away the 3, just limiting their attempts was a big part of. And as the game progressed, they started getting more attempts and made more. But they're a great they're not good. They're a great offensive team. And I thought we did, I know they shot and made 11, but the key was they didn't get 30 or 35 threes up. Was a big key.
Well, Saint was 9 of 10 tonight, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, didn't miss a shot in the second half. What was working so well for him tonight, and what have you thought just of his progression as he's kind of fit into this new offense?
He's been great. Like he said, he wants to be a defensive stopper. I think he's really been focusing defensively. He's really been focusing on rebounding. I think he's trying to find, like, where do we have holes, and then how can he plug in? Because he can do so many things. He's like, he's like a baseball player that you could put him at shortstop, second base, center field, left field, right field. Like, he's one of those guys you can just kind of put him all over, which is, that's what we want that's what we want our team to be like. As many of those guys as possible, but he's a triple-double threat. Not that, it's hard to get one in college in a 40-minute game, but he and Dez they're right there bordering on being close to triple-double guys on a nightly basis. And I thought our sharing the ball, Saint did a great job cutting. And, his shot selection tonight was incredible.
As you mentioned, those, baseball players do everything types. You obviously built this roster with a lot of that in mind. Just looks like a different team in terms of executing offensively from the start of the year. Is this more what you had in mind when you were putting this team together, and how have you seen them get there, just in terms of knowing how to play with each other, that sort of vision coming to life?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't know the strengths, like we recruited them, but now we know what play sets to call. We know where guys are super effective on the floor. We've really expanded our playbook a lot. I mean, the guys will tell you we have a new play every game. There's been years where we run that play and then we scrap it. We've kept all of our new plays. So however many games we've played, that's how much the playbook's expanded. And then the execution of them understanding second and third options. I think early in the year we would run a play and they would get to the first option and then we just kind of froze. And now I think we're getting the third, fourth options, and then we're, our open offense, our flash game, when plays break down, I think now they understand concepts instead of just play patterns. And I think that's been the biggest difference for us offensively, and we're running harder. We weren't I mean, early in the year, I mean, we kept, hey, everybody, every team says they want to run. We're going through opportunity break, and we're going through our quick strike offense. And I go back and watch the film. I'm like, we're jogging, you know. And so I think that when they were able to see that on film, we're running way harder than we were early in the year.
Coach, any concern did you have coming down the stretch about fatigue? You had, you know, the two centers break up minutes, but other than that, your four guys all either went 40 or close to 40.
Yeah, not really, Rich. I mean, if just pull up a box score from Nevada or Arkansas, and you know, Cody Martin never came out of a game. Caleb Martin never came out of a game. Anthony Black led the SEC in minutes played. Moses Moody never came out of a game. The people that I've been, you know, worked under or worked with, I mean, Tom Thibodeau's arguably one of my best friends, and check out the Knicks box scores. And Tom and myself, like, we learned from my dad, and all you gotta do is look at their, you know, I think when guys can play through their mistakes and they're not looking over at you, now we have to develop our bench. And I think we have. I think that our guys come in here and they work every day, and you know, otherwise Wes wouldn't be able to be inserted into the lineup like he was in Seattle, and he was ready to play. And so we need other guys to be ready to play. And then I think the other thing too, Rich, is, you know, if Matt Nolan and, you know, and Terrence Williams were playing, they were, you know, that two injured guys changes a lot of stuff. It really does. I mean, Terrence starting every game, playing 20 to 35 minutes, and he's out. And Matt Nolan's been a great utility guy, and we can play him at 4 positions. And so that changes stuff. But, you know, we want the other guys to keep working, and when called upon, you know, but it's hard to take them out when we're shooting. We shot 65% from the field. So, I mean, if we shot 30%, there would have been probably more subbing, but maybe not.
This will be the last question.
They cut the lead to 5, and Wes misses those 2 free throws. What did you just see from the team? I know you said you were expecting a run, but what did you just kind of see from their resolve?
Yeah, Ryan, I think that at that point, you know, the game is all of a sudden in jeopardy. It really is. Like, they come down, they hit a 3, and you know, now what? But I thought, like, in the huddles, it wasn't me saying it was the players. Hey, they made the run. Let's buckle down on defense. Hey, no threes. Defend without fouling. They're in the bonus. Like, those are some of the conversations that were happening in the, you know, in the huddle. And when you can just kind of navigate that and let them talk and say, hey, that's a great point. Hey, that's exactly what we got to do. And then you just try to get them in a spot to break the press a little bit better. They're saying and doing all the right things in the you know, like, they're kind of buddy coaching, self-coaching, whatever word you want, which is, you know, that's when you know you've kind of turned a corner from a chemistry standpoint. Again, hey, we're happy. We've won 2 games. You know, we got a really good Wisconsin team coming in here, and, you know, as soon as I walk out of here, that's the only thing I'm going to be worried about is how do we beat Wisconsin, because they're really good.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, everybody.